We spared no expense to bring you the news.
The news cycles change. You just get the
And need the nows. And now the news.
And now the news featuring Tahoe's most diverse news team. Rick Tuttle, a middle-aged white male, and Stacy Geiken, an even whiter middle-aged Stacy, our top story tonight concerns perhaps the latest sign of a tech bubble. OliX went public today at a valuation of over $4 billion. OliX founder Ken Hobo Muller rang the opening bell using a pair of 3/4-inch vice grips and an overlapping grip. OliX is based on the app MLFS, Men Looking for Stuff, that allowed maintenance men to find each other. A Tinder, if you will, for hobos. Mr. Muller first tested the app at Scotty's Hardware and was almost instantly hooked up to the head of maintenance from Lair of the Bear and spent a delightful afternoon comparing socket wrenches and dowel rods for stickball. It all ended badly at TJ's later that night, but Mr. Muller knew he was on to something big.
Thanks, Rick. Stanford Sierra Camp's favorite son, Greg Densmore, has officially thrown his hat into the ring for the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. In his first interview after making the announcement, the candidate Densmore said,
Whoa! What turned out to look like? Sorry.
It's not like you memorized it.
the show came to a complete halt. In his first interview after announcing his candidacy, Densmore said, "What? There is no way I'm going to run for President of the United States." When asked to clarify, he said, "Look, I'm not going to do it. I hate public speaking. Heck, I get nervous if I don't have a beer in my hand. Now, how am I supposed to wrestle Putin with one hand?" Densmore also said, "I know how to say President of the United States. Run for that any day." Well, I, for one, am disappointed. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Stacy. In philanthropy news, Martina Hausecker-Poquette today gave Stanford its largest gift, to create the Poquette Center for Things That Ought to Matter More. Ms. Poquette's fortune was established by investing Sierra Camp wampum each week in Silicon Valley tech stocks. A fellow Sierra Camp staff member, Tim Conway, interviewed outside his double wide, was amazed by Ms. Poquette's success. In a good week, wampum was enough for 2 beers and some nachos. So that's what I had.
Thanks, Rick. A 40-year dream is nearing completion after the final touches are being made on Hildreth Towers this week. The 200-story building that covers most of Fall Leaf Lake's South Shore is the brainchild of one Frank P. Hildreth, or as he is known by his friends, Mr. Hildreth. The 752-room vacation complex was designed with every creature comfort. Donald Trump even called it a thing of beauty. Gone are the days of the munchkins, yahoos, and snoopers. Now it's focus groups and games of Shark Tank. Gone, gone, gone are the days of all-day hikes in Desolation Wilderness. Now it's virtual reality climbs up Mount Tallac. Honey, I made it to the top and I barely broke a sweat. Look at me, lovey. Gone are the family-style dinners. It's penne arrabbiata and Dungeness crab tartare washed down with a peanut. Mr. Hildreth spoke lovingly about his proposed water slide from the top of Cathedral Peak. It will take up most of the water in Fallen Leaf Lake, but it will be worth it. Back to you, Rick.
Thanks, Stace. In regulatory news, today California Governor Jerry Brown signed a bill banning the old camp favorite going on a bear hunt for being insensitive to the rights of bears to live without fear of harassment or intimidation. Tommy the Baker Cole, who performed the song/chant over 250,000 times to delighted audiences, vowed to chain himself to Governor Brown's spaceship in protest. Supporters of the bill, led by Ray's Stretch Bosch, released a statement saying, 40 years too late. Get it later. And now, a Sierra Camp News first, a live remote from high atop chilly Mount Talac, where our correspondent Stacy Geiken. Stacy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. It's almost like we're in the same room together.
Stacy, what's it like up there?
God, it's cold! It's really cold! It's mostly dark. I guess later there'll be some scattered lightness, and by tomorrow morning it'll be really light.
Fascinating, Stacy.
Why did I draw the short end of the straw? Next time we're doing 2 out of 3.
Thank you, Stacy. Hope to see you back in the studio soon. In a follow-up to a story we first covered in 2003, a massive class action suit was settled in favor of the plaintiffs today. The suit, brought by legendary Crusader for Justice Andrew Schwartz, was filed against James Phelps on behalf of over 25,000 people injured in sailing accidents around the world, who used Mr. Phelps' Bernoulli principle. Basic sailing. Mr. Phelps, a 32-year student counselor at Stanford, taught hundreds of thousands of people to sail the predictable winds of fallen leaf, using a principle Mr. Bernoulli discovered to describe why toilets flush in a clockwise direction. As part of the settlement, Mr. Phelps will have to disgorge $1,950, his entire lifetime earnings.
Well, Rick, it's a happy day here at South Lake Tahoe. South Lake Tahoe's own Nancy Muller has won this year's Nobel Prize for Literature. That's right. The Nobel Committee cited Nancy's writing in the What's Happening column that was written some 40 years ago. Though mostly non-fiction, Nancy's work transcended the usual camp newsletter with its pithy remarks and spectacular line drawing. The Nobel Committee noted the very moving essay entitled Angora Hike, Meet at the Boat Dock at 9:30. One judge singled out the piece entitled, What is the Bernoulli effect? Jim Phelps explained. The judge said, I know that the piece was almost entirely fictional, but it was moving nevertheless. Congratulations, Nancy. Also, close runner-up was Ray Bosch's definitive novel on the perils of nighttime sailing. Back to you, Rick.
This just in. In a major development, Howard Wolf announced today a no nepotism policy for Stanford Sierra Camp. For decades, Sierra Camp has been under a virtual reign of terror. The names are all too familiar to us. Satrakian, Calendar, Cole, Cashel, Olson, and the infamous Bhutan. It has to stop, and today it will. Henceforth, no one related to a former staff member will be eligible to be employed anywhere at Sierra Camp. In a related story, Mr. Wolf announced that Sierra Camp will be closed until enough staff can be identified to former staff. It could be years. And finally, in education news, researchers have found that no child of a Stanford Sierra Camp staffer has been admitted to Stanford since 1990. Deborah von Bargen, Senior Director of Admissions since 1990, commented, "Are you kidding? I've met those parents." Bring you our weekly discussion of a major topic of public interest.
Rick, tonight's counterpoint is, Witch's Pond, a natural wonder or a disgusting eyesore?
Stacy, there are a few sights in the world more awe-inspiring than Witch's Pond in twilight. This beautiful natural resource has stood the test of time.
Rick, you poor, sad excuse for a nightly news anchor. Witch's Pond is little more than Satan's spittoon. This disgusting, tepid, brackish bowel movement needs to be filled and paved over immediately.
Stacy, you piece of crap. Witch's Pond is the quintessential natural wonderland. I taught my kids how to fish there and water ski.
Really, Rick? Really? Did your kids ever catch any fish there? I know for a fact that every person in this audience has peed in Witch's Pond. Now that's some mighty good eating.
All right, Stacy. This is obviously not about Witch's Pond.
Rick Tuttle, you can read me like a book. You're right. It's not about Witch's Pond. It's about Larry Bascom. Yeah, Larry Bascom. He's
Likeable?
No!
Lovable? Larry Bascom?
No! He's so nice, I hate him! And Ray Bosch. Ray's so tall. Look at me. I'm Ray Bosch. And Jim Phelps. He can play bass and he can sail. What about Don Flickinger? What kind of name is Flickinger? Who names their kid Flickinger? And Peter Bhutan. He's part of the Bhutan clan. Who cares? And Preston and Susie Stone. They're beautiful. Joan and Sue Cashel. Oh, they sing and they're beautiful. I can't stand them. And Sarah Rockwell. And John Schechter. And Andrew Schwartz. They're all so smart. Hate them. And John Olson. And I'm so smart. I'm much smarter. I can't stand them. I can't stand them, I tell you.
Stacy Geiken, we wish you more news in the future, and good night.